That's just backup for minutes.
All right,
This is the
fine.
minutes,
Oh, this
that's
was
minutes.
last month.
That I have to attach.
What are you talking
I
about?
touch anything and quotes,
I said,
anything.
sorry, yeah. Woke up
It's
to
part of it.
You just get
I'm not
Instead of hand it to you,
surprised.
my hand is available. I don't remember it's on site. I searched there. And now I start tonight after the meeting, I go back to work tomorrow. And then I'm off until gotta get ready next, gotta get ready next Saturday.
Oh, right, I'm a rock and roll.
That's exciting.
It's gonna be over. If I can give her, okay, then. Third time, this is third try.
Saturday.
I mean,
She says not in town, but. That's all right.
Yeah, she lives in one of the apartments.
Oh, okay, yes. there's someone.
I got mine, and you know.
I can get mine.
I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
It's so much better.
I can figure it out.
Especially when the little things change.
Well, it's changed. I was like, designing a new apartment.
Well,
Yeah, it's supposed to be 60 something.
Yeah.
I tried sounding.
Well,
You know what? She created, see.
I have
I know that. I mean, that's true. I just, and. Yeah. I'm. That is actually like the not every strand or something like that. We're doing that.
that was good. Finding a needle and a haystack.
It's going to play, or we're just going to get that person.
well, I talked about her on the side.
She. Yeah. She already wasted $200 on her.
There's two of them here, one is kind of a household insurance, and the other is kind of just an overall for some of the changes they're telling you guys each one of those. I've just been trying to get. Helps us navigate through that stuff a little bit.
6 o'clock.
Okay, the time is now 6 o'clock. This meeting is called to order. Roll call, Sandy Birch, present. Bob Reinhardt.
Here.
Scott DeLong.
Here.
Stacy ELPERS here. Sandra Hicks will not be here tonight. Let's please stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being recorded, so anyone who speaks is giving permission to be recorded and posted to our YouTube channel and the town's website. Virtual participation is not monitored, so you can virtually watch the meeting, but if you need or want to speak, it must be in person. First thing we have is our minutes from our September 24th public meeting and also the September 24th budget adoption. Do we have any additions or corrections to these? If not, looking for a motion to approve.
No changes, I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, claims the October docket from September the 20th through October 17th in the amount of $278,206.27. Do we have any questions about these?
No questions.
Questions?
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the fund report balance, the approval of the September 2025 fund report in the amount of $6,093,804.26. Do we have any questions about this?
No questions.
No questions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we didn't have any sewer adjustments.
Third month in a row.
That's right. So I know, fantastic. So sewer project update. We have pay application number 11, which is the final one.
All but retainage.
Okay. Randy, do you have any concerns about this? Everything?
We had a walkthrough today, and they're gonna come back and do some touching up on the Holy Cross area, on that curve. We're gonna do some sidewalk work and do a little milling in the street where they left a little hump there. And other than that, it's looking really good. A little
Okay.
crack filling.
There's the punch list that they left.
Randy, with all the rainfall we've had recently,
Yeah, what was it
do we
like?
have a feel for the improvement in inflow?
As of right now, with the conditions of being dry for so long and the true rain events we've had, we have not sent a drop of water, so we're good. The true test is gonna be when you get your snow, you get your melt, and then you usually get a rain. Once the ground is saturated, then we'll see if we made a significant difference. But as of right now, you know, we've had a 2-inch rain, and then we had like a 7/8 or something like that rain on this last event. We were looking really good.
Yeah, it was quite a bit on over the weekend and yesterday when I drove by, there wasn't any water in there.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I mean, it's good.
So I think we've seen it change. Now, how big of an improvement have we got with the right conditions?
Right.
So, we got to see something out of it anyway.
Yeah.
It may not be significant.
We just don't know.
Time will tell, but at least it's not worse.
I think,
Right?
we're talking to HWC, we want to jump into actually doing some monitoring on flows, you know, put some monitors here, there, in manholes, and at the plant, to see what kind of income or inflow we have.
Okay. Sounds good. Keep us posted.
Okay, so this is pay application number 11 in the amount of $91,517.33. If you guys approve, I need a motion to approve it.
I'll make the motion to approve the pay. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Pay application. I couldn't put that.
I'm gonna add to that. So we have, after we get this next checks that we had submitted to the TIF board, there's like 16,000 some odd, right around $16,000. And so, this pay application will go and they'll pay the remainder of those funds. And then the remainder that you guys set aside for the ARP funds, it's gonna come out of that. We had a CSX flagging invoice that was gonna come out of sewer improvement. And then there's gonna be like $346 after it's all said and done, that'll come out of sewer improvement. But the rest came out of the ARP money and the TIF.
Okay.
So I think it ended up
All right.
really good.
Plan came together.
That's right. So we have a change order? Is this
Yes,
it?
and it's it says for a credit, so.
Okay,
Has
so
anybody
this-
heard anything about a potential new TIF district associated with the battery plant? Did anybody hear anything about
I heard the battery plant is going somewhere else.
No, it's done. The building's done.
Well, that's what I said, but
They gotta do something with
There's
it.
definitely, they're gonna be doing work there. They're just gonna ship them. The building is on the outside. There's still a lot of work happening.
so will there not be a TIF board then?
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard.
That's why I asked. It kind of went silent, but I know Toyota's gonna do something with that. It may not be.
They're building batteries. They're just
They're
gonna
gonna do
ship
batteries,
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go into some. Yeah, they're in building. Okay, so, this change order is a credit for $98,419.73. You need to sign this
Yes,
to
I
get
have
our
it.
money back?
I have it. No, it's in with the numbers that I've given you.
Oh. All right, I make a motion to approve.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then certification of subsequent completion.
And you don't have to sign that, but just wanted to show you,
Substantial completion.
yeah.
Subsequent.
Subsequent, yes.
Oh, I put subsequent.
Yeah, that's what it says,
Substantial.
substantial completion, that's what it says. Okay, all right. This is just a certification that they're saying that the word is signed. And the punch list has a repair the curb around the curb on the north side of Strain, grind the asphalt, and it's what Randy discussed, Church Street and Strain, crack seal around pavement cuts on Strain, and post-rehab sewer inspection videos. Okay, thank you. Do we have a water project update?
No.
Okay, citizens concerns, community pride, Lisa, do you have anything? Ready
It's
for
this
this weekend?
It is, we're
I
ready
saw
to
the
go.
pumpkin arch at the park on the way, that's cute. Okay,
We'll get there.
all right, good, good.
Come and see us.
Okay.
There are gonna be food trucks at the kids' thing from 11 to 1.
On Saturday.
Ours is gonna be there with soup and dirty sodas. I don't know what that
The
is.
biscuit thing,
Put
right?
milk in there.
The brisket thing's gonna be more on the other side, but, they'll be there too Saturday morning. Masons are gonna be there with their food.
Okay, fun. Exciting weekend, hopefully the weather's good.
It looks decent. We're not gonna complain. We're not gonna have one of them floods like we did.
Not a
one-
monsoon.
That was awful.
I
I
think
can
it's
take a little
gonna
rain.
be just perfect weather, the chillier weather,
Yeah. So
that's kind of what
you
you.
want that.
Yeah.
And they don't care if it sprinkles. People will come in that. It's just when we had the flood.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was bad. Okay, but thanks.
All right,
We
good.
appreciate you guys.
Okay, and then we have a Debbie Grease for the shelter house deposit. Was she gonna come to me?
No, I told her, so, we have this thing where they sign that you're not supposed to put anything that's supposed to be hung on the walls or the ceiling, and doing so will result in loss of your deposit. They hung, balloons from the ceiling, and so, she called to find out about her deposit, and I told her that it was showing that she didn't get it back. And so she said that she had, moved some tables. This was shelter house number 1. She moved the tables and it still had the chairs on them. The leg collapsed and it hurt her leg. So she said if we were going to get nitpicky on that, then she'll just send her medical bills for her leg. And so I told her that I couldn't make that change. Only you guys could do that. So I told her I would talk to her about that.
What
She
kind of,
dragged
what
the
kind
table.
of mark or damage or whatever did the balloons leave?
It didn't.
It
It's
didn't-
just whenever people are doing that, they're causing holes. You know, you keep
But did-
getting
right.
people to do it.
But did they cause holes? Or
Not
they-
that I'm aware of.
No damage, no.
How do we know that she did that?
The cameras.
So,
Because she got hurt, so you had to look and see if she got hurt and what she
but
did.
hold on, so she said she got hurt and then you watched the video and then you saw that there was balloons on the ceiling?
Yeah.
So that's how you found out?
Yeah.
So, does she have medical bills?
She said she went to 2 different doctors.
She
I
said.
mean, she
said-
clearly dragged the table in it. I mean, she clearly.
Okay.
So you can see her falling
You
on
can
the.
see, she
She
didn't
didn't
fall, it's just the leg had collapsed
Like this
and it
table.
hit her on her leg.
Okay.
The whole thing didn't collapse, just the end of it collapsed and it hit her on her leg.
And she moved it with like 8 chairs on top of it.
Since you're talking about table and chairs in that building, are we not supposed to put the chairs up every time? Because when I came in Sunday, the tables are all still up and the chairs are all pushed up.
Let's hold that.
Okay, I just wanted to,
Okay, that's.
before I
that's one
screw
thing.
something up Sunday, I want to make sure I know.
I don't know, the rules are rules, but she didn't cause any damage, right?
Well, see what they do when they,
I understand.
you pull them things up, then they leave holes in your,
I know it can, but if they didn't leave any damage, they didn't leave any damage.
How much money are we talking about?
$75.
I haven't even looked, I
I'll
mean,
give it back.
I think the rules are to keep people from making damage so that we have a situation where we definitely have to keep the deposit, right? That's what the rules are for. The rules aren't for us to spy with the camera and find out that they broke rules.
We
You
don't
see what
have
I'm
time to do that.
I know you don't, and the only reason you did in this case was because of the injury, but still that led to just seeing that somebody did something that if we hadn't seen them, we wouldn't have known because they didn't cause any damage. So,
We're not gonna know if they do, who does damage, because look here, they're not supposed to put tape on and you got all these things in the walls.
Well,
And
when
our
I clean it-
custodian doesn't
because, yeah,
look at that.
is that, what's supposed to be our checks and balances with catching damage? I thought it was the cleaner would notice, the custodian would notice.
She's supposed to.
I mean,
That's you guys just calling on.
okay. What do you think, Sandy?
I think if there was no damage, we give her back the deposit.
Me too,
I agree.
I'll make a motion, we give it back.
So Bob, make a motion, we give it back.
Yes.
Did you second it?
I'll second it. Okay, all those in favor of giving back this deposit, say aye.
Aye.
Can I have my question answered really?
Yeah, go ahead now.
So when I got in there Sunday, all the tables were still up and all the chairs were still folded and like said, like they just left it. Like they had set up, like a party had been there. I always assumed we were supposed to throw the chairs up, put them back. That wasn't done. So I'm just asking, so when I go in Sunday to do cleanup, are we supposed to put the chairs back or are we supposed to leave them set like a party?
Yes, you're supposed to put them back up because then that helps the custodian be able to.
That's what I thought.
It says that on our rule sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, but then that caught my attention Sunday because I was like, this is real out of character.
Yeah.
So I could go ahead and fold them up and get them out of my way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
Okay, any other citizens' concerns? You guys have anything?
I don't have you on the agenda, so you can talk now.
I
Sorry, I didn't know you needed to be on there.
I really only came to listen about the alleyway, but since I'm here, I'm Laura Hoppy, I'm with the Fort Branch Library. I just want you to know that we have hired someone to do the boring for us. And my lawyer has his part of the stuff done. All we're waiting on is to hear from you guys where exactly the line needs to be placed.
And now you're talking about the stormwater.
I'm talking about stormwater, sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure that we're clear. Okay, so Randy, have you guys identified that location for them to?
Yes, we're going to have to put the pipe inside the box, the surface
Okay.
box. That way you have access to it, you can see it. Because if you put it out in the street and you get tied into the culvert, once you cut through the asphalt and concrete underneath it, if you ever do any work in there, who's to say it's going to get ripped out or it gets left out and don't get tied back in? We're here, if it's at the storm box, it's there, you see it.
Okay, so who can tell them?
My lawyer's waiting for your lawyer to have that in writing, and then we'll have the whole document complete.
Okay, so Sandy knows all of that because she was at
She
the
does.
meeting. Okay.
She does,
So
so I just wanted
she-
to let you guys know where we were at.
And she has been in a murder trial, so she's told me that she was gonna be useless until November something.
I really wanted to get this done this fall. Okay,
Yeah, so I'll follow up with her about it.
all right, thank you.
And as far as that alley, she said that we're waiting on, survey.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing is the cross-connection ordinance. We need to table that.
Yes,
Okay.
and we are gonna work on that, and we will have that ready by the December meeting, because that's when they want it done.
Okay, and we're still waiting on the survey for deeding the alley over to the
Oh,
library?
it's on here, yeah.
Is it completed?
I have no idea, Sandra's been the one taking care of that, so I just know from the last meeting, that's why I left it on here. The last meeting, she said, we're still waiting on the survey, and I haven't heard anything different.
Okay. I'll follow up with her. Okay. The next thing is the financial commitment letter for our community crossings grant. Is that what it is?
Yes, so there is a financial commitment letter, that Kevin, I think his name is, needs for us to sign. He's the one that's been working with us on the CCNG grant.
Okay, so we're going to submit the application and the matching funds. We have funds available to match the projects that have been applied for. The estimated cost of the project is $789,483, and we are committing to match $157,896.60.
And the roads that, he gave me, I'm assuming that you gave him the roads that were gonna be worked on? So, it's a couple pages, but it gives you the roads up there.
Can we get an electronic copy of the road list?
Yeah, and you.
I think I forwarded that email to you guys.
Okay.
And if I didn't,
I saw that and I
But
saw
didn't
the
see all of these.
ordinance thingy, but I didn't see the,
Okay.
Yeah, same.
I'm going
I
back
could
to
be
the
wrong.
office after the meeting, so I will forward you, if I didn't,
okay.
I will forward it to you. And if, I just got it at like 3:30.
They don't have to be today. I mean,
Well, I'm not gonna be here after today.
So we have Railroad Street,
all right, yeah.
It'll be gone a while.
so Railroad Street, Walter Street, Vine Street, and Oak Street. So those are the streets.
So I'll need you to motion and second.
Walter.
Sign that.
Yeah, so Railroad is gonna be John to 168 and Coal Mine to Strain. Then Railroad, also Locust to Vine, so basically all of Railroad Street. And then Walter Street from Vine to John. And then on Vine Street from Railroad to Main, which isn't very far. And then Oak Street, Railroad to Hillcrest.
And he told me today,
First one.
they still don't have Franklin Lane
All of Railroad Street.
on our inventory. They don't have from Hillcrest to 41 on Oak Street, that's not on our road inventory.
It takes so long.
And Hull Street is not on our road inventory. So the Amazon PO guy said that he was gonna get that done, and I told him that. And he said that he will work on that, but it won't happen in this round, but he'll work on that with our next.
They're
next
called
meeting.
MPO, right?
Amazon PO.
We
So I will
wait
email
years
this
to get roads on the inventory list.
It can't be good because that's all part of the ranking funding, road miles and all that.
Okay, hold on. We need to,
Right.
I make a motion that we sign this.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
All right. Resolution 2025-6, authorization for execution of NDOT agreements and contracts.
So I sent you guys two different well, I didn't send them to you, I sent you the one. And so here's one that says you have to sign everything
That's
on
right.
that CCMG, and here's one that says I do. I made the exact same thing, I just made one that says, or he made one that says the town council president, I made one for clerk treasurer. You all decide what you want it to do, but I know that there's gonna be a lot of signing with that CCMG, so if you want to be able to make it to get those
Is that as
signatures.
each invoice comes in kind of a thing?
No, it's just for all the paperwork.
Okay.
So, and anything, if you're going to name me, I will of course send everything to you that comes through. But Sandy, if you think that you can do it, then I just made two because I didn't know how you wanted to.
Actually, I would love for Stacy to be able to sign all these, so.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll
I
second
make a
that.
motion that we allow Stacy to
I'll
sign
second.
with the King Crossing.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have it Sandy and Scotty.
Yes. And this one we got. Okay. Going into 3-year lease for the truck department, or for the street department for a truck.
They
Still
sold that
looking?
other truck.
They sold it? Okay, well, people can. All right, and then a quote for the mini, for the water sewers, stormwater.
Still trying to figure out how to use that, or whatever that
Source
website is, to compare. They have all kinds in there where you can just pull out what you want and get prices and then present it, but I cannot get in there and get it.
We'll work on it after I get back. I'll have more time then.
Okay, I thought I saw D-roll outside.
Deal
Still
committee.
working.
Okay, oh, there's the issue. I did see him walk up and I said, no way. Okay, did you have anything else, Randy?
Now, did you get the quotes for the other lawnmower?
For
They're up
Scotty's,
here, yeah.
yeah, so
There's one behind it.
is this two different ones, a Skag Toro?
They're not identical at all.
This is for the water. Is
Yes.
that right? Okay.
So I'd like to send Fred down to look at the equipment, kind of compare and see what the fit and finish is of the mowers. And the one here on Scotty's, it says it offers a 5-year limited warranty. Usually if you buy it at a commercial grade, they only give you a 1-year warranty. So I don't know if that's exactly true. But I think
It says it on there, I would hold it to it.
Yeah,
too late now.
Did not get a warranty. We got
Okay.
1 year.
From Scotty's, that Skag Turf Tiger 2, what is that one? Is that
This is 61.
oh, that's a mower.
Yeah.
Okay, these are both
Scotty's has
mowers.
just got the mower.
Okay.
Randy, I'm not in the business of making you have to run around and do a bunch more stuff, but have you ever, in terms of Skags, have you ever looked at Petersburg Hardware?
No, I've heard good things about it.
So I have a Skags, and I used to go to Scotty's, and not only is the pricing better, the people are better, the service is better. I hate to say that about a Gibson County business, I'm being recorded right now. But from my own personal experience, just better all around, especially when something goes wrong in the summer and you take it to Scotty's, you're done, you're down. I mean, these guys, I don't know, they're just a lot faster, let's put it that way.
So they do have a service department?
They absolutely do.
See, I didn't know that they did. I mean, I can reach out to them.
Something to think about.
So you're wanting to,
You know, just wanted to go in, I just wanted to get comparisons on different mowers, different brands.
That one right up here on this back page, that is a bush hog, and then those are two different mowers. Those are
do
two
you need
mowers.
the bush hog?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they-
Seen this better
So
than,
you only have one quote for that?
yes.
Okay.
I
And
don't
that's
think
from straw.
Scotty's carries bush hogs. You can go to Rural King up here and get bush hog.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to do that.
I picked up on that. Okay, so it looks like the Skag is 19,000-ish, the Toro's 22. You have the Grasshopper, which is 19,500, and the Coyote Diesel, which is 16,900. So, and you think that Petersburg Hardware might have a better price on the Skag? even?
Yeah, particularly if you take this quote with you.
I can call up there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you guys just say, okay, go ahead and get them over, but don't go above the 22,000.
Yeah.
I mean, our rolling season day are done anyway,
Mhm.
but it'd be nice to have it in-house before we start rolling next year.
Right.
Yeah, we need it to come out of this year's budget too, right? I'm okay with that. I mean, between this Skag and the Toro, which one would you rather have?
Scan's a pretty good motor.
I agree, I've had one for 15 years.
Toro's pretty good. I think we had a previous one.
Toro for about 18 years. It wasn't a zero.
They're all commercial, so they should be good.
Mhm.
The deck's so heavy.
That's right.
Yeah,
Bigger engines.
But the Skags, well, the Kubota that we had for a few years, and then the Skag is pretty well equivalent to that. They mow a lot better on a slope than the Toro. Yeah, the Skag and Kubota are pretty well. equal.
So,
Kubota's heavier. They
I mean-
mow better.
I'm in favor of giving him a $20,000 budget. Pick whichever one he wants. What do y'all think?
I'll second.
So are you making a motion? I didn't make a
Yeah,
motion.
I'll
I
make a
just said
motion that-
Okay.
I mean, we can see here the ballpark of this. If we set a budget for $20,000 for a mower, he may be able to beat that a little bit at Petersburg, so. You on board
Sounds
with
good
that?
to me.
All right.
I'll give them a holler tomorrow.
Okay, so Scotty, are you including the bush hog or in addition also? So the bush hog's 2,500.
Oh.
So,
Looking at the,
yeah.
graphic.
Mhm. So I'd like to make a motion that we allow 20,000 for the mower and 2,500 for the bush hog.
Sounds good.
Any discussion on that?
No, I'm fine with it.
What do you think?
You
That's
with that? Yeah,
All right,
just
so
make that the motion.
Yeah,
You change
make
it.
that the
I'll
motion.
make the motion, 20,000 for the zero turn and then 2,500 for the bush hog.
Okay. I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Got it,
You guys are
Rainey?
just messing me up here.
20,000 for the mower and 2,500 for the bush hog. Okay,
I'll give you a call.
okay. Sorry.
Scribble everything.
Okay. The Strain Street water tank. Did you have this is on.
Is like an
what's
update
this
on that or?
name?
We're still waiting on the inspection.
Okay. What about the paint on the cars?
Yeah,
From that painting? Did the company reach out to the owners?
Yes, they're willing to pay for, I think there's a total of 5 cars, trucks, vehicles anyway. They got a company somewhere that's going to do it for a price. They went by and give them a quote. So it's in motion,
Okay.
slow motion.
Okay, as long as they are actually doing something about it, because last month was the first we knew about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the company, if one of the people don't want that company to do the job. So I don't know how to go about it, because my contact just left on vacation today. I don't know where to go with that.
I will forward you that email tonight. I messaged the guys that you guys went door to door with. I sent them an email and told them that what had happened, and they said they needed pictures. Well, then you started dealing with someone else, so then I stuck my nose out of it. So I will forward you that email. You might have to send them the pictures that you sent to that Garrett guy, and we might have to go that avenue.
At the end of the day, the people with the cars who have the issues should have a direct line of communication to the tower company. It shouldn't be going through you.
I agree.
Well, they actually did talk to the guys from the tower company and the body shop. So,
And then if they, aren't a fan of that particular body shop, they should communicate directly to the tower company and say,
that's right.
they may not have an option, but that's their
Yeah, she
beef.
came in and talked to me today.
Yeah.
person that owns the vehicle, was it the one that was here last month?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
agree.
we just want to make sure it gets resolved and that she's happy with it.
Yeah,
Okay, so if we have issues, please let us know, okay? Before it gets to be a big problem.
She asked if she should come tonight, and I told her there's really nothing that you could do, that you already said that you want them to make sure that they take care of the issues, so.
That's right.
I told her I didn't think there was anything else on our side that we could do, other than push that
Get the ball
company to
rolling.
make sure that they take care of what they done.
Right. If they don't take care of it, it will certainly help them push.
Mhm,
But at the end of the day, it's between those two parties.
correct. Okay, and then automation enclosures, the quote for the water tower controls and the annual cell fees. We talked about this last night a little bit. So these are different companies, automation enclosures and precision controls.
Yeah.
2 different companies? Do we only have the 2?
I think that Randy was explaining to me the precision controls quote. It is so much more because they are removing everything and getting all new to where automation enclosures is using some of what we have. Is that correct?
They're gonna go, well, their automation enclosures is a cellular communication system.
So they're not having.
Precision controls is FM radio. But they wanna update all the radios. And then, of course, communicate all the equipment, radios at each location. And, or continuous radios at each location, communicate wirelessly. The automation enclosures quote is for 4 locations. They're going to hardwire from the plant tank directly into the plant instead of running just a radio signal from the barn to the plant. That's the way it was originally done. They would say they just go ahead and hardwire, and we wouldn't have to have, we wouldn't actually have to have a radio. One radio communicating from the barn into the plant, those hardwire directly into the plant, with the same information to the radio. So they only get 4 radios. There wouldn't be radios, it'd be a cellular system. But also, the quote from Precision Controls specifies that any new antennas that are located, they would want an antenna on each tank instead of at the base, where they are now. And that's not included in the quote, is installing those. We would have to hire someone separately to install those antennas and run the cable to the ground.
How do you feel about all that extra expense to go FM and install antennas and do all this extra stuff?
Well, I'm not, we've never really had an issue. I mean, I'm not opposed to the FM radios, because that's what we've used for over 30 years. But I really kind of question, I mean, if that's the way their radio system they're quoting, or, that's their proposition or specification, then, they have to have an additional height on the antenna, and that's the way it is. But where we've had our antennas for years, we have, the only time we've ever had any kind of signal problem is like after storm damage or something like that. We've had very little of that. Our antennas now, this tank sits up just barely over 20 feet, goes through the trees and everything. We've never had an issue with it, so, I hate to go to the extra expense beyond their quote of having to have those antennas installed on the tanks. When, of course, with the cellular system, automation enclosures, they're not even quoting the 5th location, because they can hardwire that signal directly into the plant. And that's basically for the point control or level.
So who do you like?
Automation enclosures, they're, that's for the different system, of course, but that's probably worth the trouble to try it.
All right.
And then they're also local.
They're never-
They're minutes away.
Right.
We've had excellent service from Precision Control. We haven't had to use them except, for the initial installation. And then here in the last year or so, a couple of issues we've had. But that's also due to the fact that they have a license for the program for the PLCs. Automation enclosures will have that and also provide it to us. So we will have those programs on site.
Do we need to make a choice tonight?
Not necessarily.
It sounds cut and dry to me, though.
I agree. I make a motion to go with automation.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, that. And did you have anything else, Fred? Sewer department, Randy, do we have anything? No, okay. Stacy? You're talking about December schedule for Christmas Eve. We probably don't want to meet that.
I don't want to be that day. We're already meeting the day before Thanksgiving, so.
That's true. Okay, so, do we want to just change it to later?
Well,
Yeah,
I
we did
am,
last year.
I am recommending December 30th or December 31st, early if possible. I don't know what everybody's schedules are. I mean, I'm working that day. But I have payroll on the 28th or 29th, and that's got to be included for the year end. So if we could do the 31st at all, you know, maybe during the day. I don't know if everybody works or not, so I don't know what your schedules are. But I'd like to be able to try to get it. And I don't know if you want to do a regular meeting and then just do our year-end meeting or what. I'm one for one meeting to catch all. I'm meetinged out half the time, so.
I'm good with the 31st in the morning and having everything together. I don't know about you guys. Are you available that day? This isn't Pop says. How about you, Scotty? You're the one pushing.
I should be good. What time in the morning?
You tell us. 9? Is 6 too early?
I could even, yes. I would even, anytime before, you know, I mean, even if we did around noon, I don't care. But, you know, I'm not going out on New Year's Eve, so.
I've got a 10 o'clock meeting that day, but it's only like probably a half hour type of meeting.
So is noon okay then?
So,
On the 31st?
Or even 1 o'clock, I don't care.
yeah, either one. I don't care.
You're the only one that has anything, so you tell us.
That's right.
Okay, 1 o'clock, because I gotta eat.
1 o'clock is easy.
Okay.
1 o'clock, December 31st. Make a change. We'll put that on our Facebook page, and put it on our website. And then we'll send it to the paper.
Did you have anything else, Stacey?
I do not.
Okay. All right, Daryl. I think we're ready to talk to you about some things. So Scotty was asking you about the street inventory. Is there anything you can do to help with that?
I don't know, but I guess I'll give you my email and then we'll need to come up with I guess, the information and then I'll have to do some research. I don't know where everything's at, but I'm starting to navigate to know where to find it.
Okay.
You know, at Indianapolis, so, you know, we'll address that. So anyway, I guess I'm gonna go up here.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. My name's Daryl Schmidt. I have been our senator. I was elected last fall to replace Mark Messmer when he became Congressman Messmer, for Larry Bouchon. So I've been our senator. I represent Gibson, Pike, DuBois, Spencer, Perry, and Crawford counties, the entirety of those 6 counties. So I'm a megaphone for 140,000 people. My family and I, we farm. We're farmers over around Otwell, Ireland area. So I graduated Pike Central in '84. So I've been around in the area. I was on the DuBois County Council for a few years. And when this opportunity presented itself, I thought, you know, why not? We need, you know, regular people. Everybody needs to stand up and be willing to serve and find their servant's heart, just like what you guys are doing here. You're not here because of the pay and the glory, right? Or the aggravation. But so anyway, I decided I wanted to step up. So last year was the first session at Indianapolis that I was involved. Senate Bill 1 came out initially, and there was a lot of panic among the local governments. So, and myself coming out of local government too, I could see, you know, that there was a lot of changes and significant changes. So I had 2 choices. I could either put my head in the sand and just deal with whatever came, or I could choose to get involved and make the best of it possible, and that's what I tried to do. Got a lot of heck for supporting it down the road, but I'd like to give you kind of an overall philosophy of kind of what's going on. Obviously, we were all clamoring for property tax relief, right? Everybody saw their property taxes, you know, between assessed value and everything going up significantly. So before I had been up there, I went up when I was on the county council just to kind of listen. So I kind of knew what was going on. But back in 2023, at the end of the 2023 session, Indiana has a biennial budget. So every odd year, 23, 25, the next budget session will be in 2027. So at the end of the session in 2023, they created a task force to try to address the property tax problems and a lot of issues. So they were studying for 2 years. So this basically, what they came up with, there's like a 7-year plan, okay, of implementing and making changes. And I like to say they're basically trying to accomplish 3 things. Delivering more decision-making power to us at the local level, and simplicity and transparency, okay? You know, that you can go through and try to figure out what your property taxes are. There's 18 different calculations to try to come up with it. So those were the goals, you know, in mind, and it takes some time to implement those. I've got some handouts, if I may approach and give you guys some of these. Whenever this happened, and as I was going through the session, a lot of local governments were calling and asking, you know, what's this, what's that? And so I started trying to come up with resources, and I've got myself and another senator, we share one staff member, so he works for both of us. And so we started creating, I started asking the staff up there, I want to know every change and everything that's going to affect us in Senate Bill 1. So then what we developed, I had them develop these little handouts. So this one is how it affects veterans. Okay, and the other one here that we'll talk about is basically everything around Senate Enrolled Act 1. But if you look at this one with Senate Enrolled Act 1, also in there, it talks a lot about a lot of the different changes. So one of the big things I like to highlight, everybody's familiar with our homestead. You know, we're the 1% cap, right, as far as homesteads. So ultimately, as we move forward down to, like on the second page, into year 7, our 1%, so us with our homesteads, there will be, when we get to year 7, there will be a 2/3 assessed value deduction, okay? Now, right now, there's you get deductions for whether it's geothermal, solar, a lot of different calculations and different deductions. So you hear some of those are going to go away, and they will. But it's going to come back in a simpler form where the 1%, our homesteads will basically, it's phased in over the 7 years. But by the time we get to 2031, there will be a 2/3 assessed value deduction. So if your home's worth $150,000, you will have a $100,000 assessed value deduction. So you'll pay your tax rate times 50,000. Okay. So if you're the 2%, which are land, apartment complexes, and things like that, ultimately, when you get to the year 7, it'll be a 1/3 assessed value deduction. So they'll pay tax rate times 2/3 of the assessed value. The 3% cap businesses and things, they'll pay 100% of the assessed value times the tax rate. Just trying to keep it simpler. There was no goal to change where the distribution, you know, where it's collected. Excuse me. So
there's 0 homestead for like people who own income properties or rental properties like myself.
Yes.
You just pay the full tax rate on property tax. So
That's
are you
right.
saying now there was going to be this 1/3?
Yes. That will be a 1/3 on that. Yeah. So it's the homesteads are still the 1% cap people. Okay. So that land you're talking, or that home or whatever that you're renting out or whatever you're doing, that's under the 2% cap. Okay. So those will get a 1/3 assessed value deduction. Where now the 3% cap people, which are your businesses and things, they'll pay 100% of the assessed value.
You think that impacts cash rented farm property as well as residential homes that are income properties?
Well, what this is basically doing over the 2 year, there'll be a $1.3 billion decrease in property tax for the 1% people.
Before you go too much farther, I want to stop you right there. So everybody's excited about property taxes going down, but anybody in local government understands that, you know, everything that comes out of property taxes.
Exactly.
So that, and I think it's probably covered here, but I'll just give you the opportunity to talk about it. So that money is going to either have to come from income or sales tax. You can't just cut property tax and be able to fund all the stuff we have to fund. So where's the money gonna come from? Are you gonna jack up income?
And that'll bring me to my next thing, and the next handout. In my opinion, the property tax savings are gonna be modest, okay? There's not gonna be as much of an effect on local governments as local officials had feared, okay, right? So there could be some disappointment in the amount of taxes we really were getting. So found some common ground in there, okay? So the first goal is everybody kind of, when COVID hit and all this money's coming down, the state was just as bad. Everybody got used to all the free money, right? But, you know, that's how we got the inflation, and we can talk about all that, and both administrations were doing it. So the first goal is to encourage people to look for efficiencies, okay? And I know Southern Indiana, you know, tight conservatives, right? So we don't have as much fat as other places. So it's hard to find a one size fits all. But that's the first goal, is to look to right size, to find efficiencies if you can. Then, if there is, this is where the more local control comes in, simplicity and transparency. If we feel that we've trimmed all the fat and we're doing everything we can, then we have an opportunity, if it's road issues, that we have a wheel tax that we can use to generate revenue, or a local income tax, okay? You know, and I don't know exactly what you're getting from the county, so we have the opportunity to use the local income tax if we want to. So if everybody's supportive and you guys need to do more projects, and the residents are clamoring for more services and projects, well, then you have the ability to use the local income tax to tweak it a little bit, okay?
But we're not big enough.
You will have the opportunity to do it, but it will be administered through the county. Yes.
Yeah. And
So-
when the county, at the county commissioner levels, they had their meeting and they started talking about the wheels tax, everybody in this county on social media completely lost their mind.
I know.
They are gonna vote out every Republican in county government.
I know.
That's what they're gonna do.
I know. I was up there and I was in Princeton. I've been at
Yeah.
Princeton City Council meeting multiple times, and I've been at the Gibson County Council meeting. And if they're wanting, so then what this will end up doing, if they don't want to have those taxes, well, then there's a direct correlation with the services that are going to be involved, right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So that's where we're going to have the ability and have the choice as local citizens, you know, if we're all truly clamoring for smaller government, less taxes, well, then there's a trade-off from the services, okay? I would rather have us having the ability to do that at the local level. I think we'll do a heck of a lot better job collecting taxes, the revenue, and administering it at the local level, okay? Now, here's one thing that what people don't really understand is in 2015, the state income tax rate was 3.4%, okay? By 2027, when this all starts taking effect, the state income tax rate will be 2.9%. Okay, so if we're collecting 0.5% less at the state level, okay, trying to right-size government a little bit, whatever terminology you want to use, if we end up raising the local income tax a tenth or 2/10 or something here, okay, it's not really raising it. Instead of collecting it at the state level and then distributing it down here and having the state dictate how we spend our own money locally, we're going to have the ability to do that. Now, there is some extra responsibility to that, okay? So if the people really want to vote every Republican out, if you will, you know, a lot of stuff up there gets bipartisan support on these things, but then somebody else is going to have to be willing to step up and say, okay, here's what we're going to do, and then they have to live within their means and live less. It's a two-way street. Yeah, it's going to be a little harder, more responsibility for us, but you know, we're going to have the ability to control our future and be more efficient doing it. You know, because what people really don't understand is property taxes are collected locally and utilized locally, okay? the reduction of the property taxes that that we're all wanting for our homes, okay? Roughly 2/3 of that goes to the schools, and 1/3 goes to us as towns, goes to libraries, and goes to those things, okay? So, since the biggest chunk was going to the home, to the schools, they're feeling the biggest hit, okay? So now when the first week of April, or whatever it was, the 16th, when we came out, you guys all heard the news that it was a $2.4 billion reduction in the revenue forecast. The state, we have to balance our budget at the state level. So we had to find $2 billion worth of cuts. Had the budget people on appropriations, they'd hedged in $400 million decrease is what they were forecasting, and they hedged in. We already had taken $400 million out. Well, come to be, it was 2.4. So everybody took their fair share of the cut, except K through 12 education were spared for many of those cuts. Okay, so as local governments, as local schools, if we lost some on our property taxes at the schools, okay, the property taxes that we collect locally, that we pay and the schools use, those are used for facilities, school buildings and all that stuff, okay. There's also the other component is state tuition support that the state gives to the schools, or it doesn't give, right, collecting through sales taxes and income taxes and stuff. That state tuition support goes for teacher salaries and things of that nature. Over the 2-year budget, there's a $960 million increase, okay, to help soften the blow of the loss of property taxes, okay. So that was coming out of the budget, and I have a handout here that'll kind of explain a lot of that. This here is it says April, but this is like a finalized. This talks about the budget. Okay, on page 13, it'll talk about, it's basically a pie chart distribution. Uh-oh, did I give you guys, I should have, I think I've got another one.
There you go.
Here it is, I got one, I knew I had 5. Who got it? You got it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
There you go. So I always try to bring that up, and I try not to drag this out, but in that pie chart, back pre-COVID, Medicaid, if you go on page 13, I think it's 13 where the pie chart is.
Okay.
Okay, back in pre-COVID, Medicaid was 9%, schools were 52%. Well, now, even though the school funding over that period of time has went up, I think $10 billion, it's a smaller portion of the state budget. Okay, and what you'll notice is the Medicaid budget, it went pre-COVID, it was $5 billion. Now it's $10 billion. It went from 9 to roughly 20% of the budget. So there's a lot of changes, a lot of things. And the only reason I bring this up is when we hear, or you hear that there's the state's cutting Medicaid, and they say waste, fraud, and abuse. People always assume that it's individuals, that we're trying to knock individuals off the rolls, right? When COVID happened, there are some able-bodied adults that should be working that are on Medicaid, but there's also, it's not all just they're trying to call out people that are maybe on the system that shouldn't. There's a lot of things that happen with the healthcare industry and insurance industry, and so there's a lot of things that are going on to try to create efficiencies, at the state level. And so there's a lot of good stuff in there that I can give that handout. I kind of digressed a little bit, but for schools and things of that nature. And then here's another one you were asking about. We were talking about local income taxes and things. This here is every taxing unit in the district. And when Senate bill came out, and they were talking about the cuts and a lot of severe cuts that we were going to get. And what they were doing a lot, there was different versions, and one of them was talking about, they were talking about, say if you had a $100,000 increase in easy for me to say, right? A proposed budget, and it only increased $20,000, they were saying it was an $80,000 cut, for example, which it really was just a reduction of the increase. So it's $20,000 increase. So anyway, so what this is this is more, this is if you look across the heading across the top, I don't know if I was, yes, this one doesn't have it on the second, or at least mine doesn't have it on the second page. But if you look at that on the front page, basically the first set of columns is estimated net levy before Senate Enrolled Act 1. Okay, so for fiscal year 2025, 26, 27, 28. So if we would have kept with the same tax increases that we were doing and Senate Enrolled Act wouldn't have happened, that would be it's your 2025 actual, and that would be what your increases would have been for 26 through 28, okay? The second set of columns is your property taxes, what you're actually going to be receiving, okay? The third set is a change of revenue year over year, and then the fourth column is just a percent. So if you go to the second page is where you guys are at Fort Branch. So your 2025 income should have been basically the $457,000, okay? If we would have continued with property tax increases the way we were, the next would be your revenue for 2026 would have been $483,000, okay? And then same thing for 27 and 28, what those would have been. Now, the second set of columns here, like the revenue projections were $456,000, and then it's 478, 498. So if you look at the third set of columns, showing you basically with the reduction of revenue for 26 versus 25 of $1,000, okay? And then in 2027, up 21,000 and up 20,000 in 2028. And then the last column is a negative 0.2% revenue increase, and then a 4.8% increase and a 4.3%, okay? So kind of basically, I like to look at it as basically we've had a 1-year reset. We're roughly flat for a year, okay? And then it starts as the increment. So if we were here, we basically lowered that curve a little bit and trying to look for the efficiencies. And if not, they added more tools, the local income tax tools. We can continue on the way we are, and you guys are under the 3,500, so you can enact those yourselves. Is that 3,500 number laid in stone? Have no idea yet. Okay, that's where they laid out to start. It wasn't accidental that most of the stuff won't take place until 2028. This year, the Department of Revenue has started collecting data, the income data by addresses and stuff, because right now there's no way, you guys don't have available information to even make projections, okay, on local income taxes and what the ramifications would be for your communities. So 25 payable in 2026, they're going to be compiling all this data. So as we go through next year, we're going to start being able to make more educated and accurate decisions, and have more information to do that. Okay, and as you guys move forward, one of the reasons I'm coming around to help explain the philosophy, but it's also to give you my phone number and the problems that you see, the unintended consequences we see. I want the feedback. So normally in a non-budget year, you don't make any changes. Okay. I'm going to guess the next year, 2026, will be an exception, okay, to tweak some bonding things, the way that, because you can't, the local income tax will have to be, the way it stands now, would have to be reapproved, each year, which causes some bonding issues, as a guarantee. So there'll be some tweaks and some changes. So as I'm trying to give you guys as much information and things to look at, and then anything that you guys see that's a problem, we'll try to work through and address. So it's just basically the idea is to try to simplify it for us, give us more responsibilities and privileges and rights, and have the ability to make the decision. We've never had these, the abilities to do this before. So I think it's going to be a good thing to give us control, because we'll be a heck of a lot more frugal with our money and prudent and spend it where we want to. It's going to be a direct link and feedback with the constituents.
I'm going to say something that's going to be unpopular, but it's on my brain, so it's coming out.
Let's just go. That's why I'm here. Absolutely. And
So,
you're not going to offend me on anything.
Oh, well, I don't mean to offend anyone, but I've heard a lot of talk, and the way that I feel is, so the state is making it look like they're cutting property taxes, but at the local level, now the locals have to add the taxes on. So then therefore, the people that are voting for the new taxes aren't gonna be such a popular person and get re-voted back in.
The county commissioners are gonna have a rough, it's gonna be hard to get reelected. I mean, no,
Because
that's not what's important at the end of the day, though. It's really not.
Yeah, but
But,
that's the way it's gonna be.
yeah,
Well, that's, and I guess maybe that's the other edge of the sword, if you will. That's not the intent to lay blame or deflect blame or anything. And a lot of people, you're right, are confused. People don't understand that property taxes are collected at the local level and used at the local level, and the state has nothing to do with it. So I like the idea that we're actually, that it's gonna become more of a local issue. We're gonna have the ability to do that. City councils, town councils, and county councils are gonna ultimately end up having a lot more power to make the decisions, but it's also responsibility, right? You know, that goes with it. So it's not gonna be as easy, but I, for one, coming off the county councils, I like to be able to have the ability to do that instead of being dictated to. But there, you know, that is one of the consequences. You're 100% right.
And I feel like down at the town local level, we're at the mercy of the county.
You're right. As we move forward, that they had to come up with a manageable starting point, right, to do this. Will that 3,500 always be the magic number? I have no idea.
the problem with county governments is over the years, they get manipulated from the perspective of, like, where do the commissioners come from, where do the councils come from a district perspective. You can look at all the rural counties, and you probably know this, in southwestern Indiana. Take Warwick County, the Boonville situation. You take Gibson County, the Princeton situation. They manipulate things so that all of the power and money can be dumped typically into the county seat town, right? The towns in the more rural parts of the county end up suffering because of how that's kind of gerrymandered, for lack of a better word. It's bad in Gibson, it's bad in Warwick. Like, that's one concern with this,
Yeah,
right?
because the people that get involved, I'm just trying to understand, the people that get involved and work to get elected, then you say, funnel it to
No,
certain
over the
direction.
years, let's look at your county council seats, right?
Mhm.
They manipulate it to where they're, the at-large seats, and they're voted on by the whole county, so the at-large seats always go to the larger town, where it used to be where there were county council seats allocated like to each town in a way, and so over the years that gets manipulated so that the people who get elected in those positions are from the county seat, therefore all the funds end up in the county seat. It's a real problem.
You're saying that like the district should be weighted heavier than the.
When they lay out the county councils, there should be, in commissions, at least the councils, there should be state imposed rules on how those seats are laid out geographically, and they can't just be at large seats, but the councils themselves have control over that, and over the years, it has evolved the way it's evolved. And if you're lucky enough to get industry in your county, they will manipulate the TIF districts in such a way that the county seat ends up with the benefit of those monies. We're worried about that happening again with the one we were talking about earlier.
I share, how should I say this? I share your concerns on that coming out of county government. There has to be, TIF districts can be good if they're used properly, okay? If it's designed to stimulate growth, but in my opinion, as soon as the infrastructure is paid off, that should go away and everything should open back up, and the assessed value should go freely where it's supposed to go, okay? That doesn't always happen in all communities. I don't know what the situation here, if that's the case, but that is something that definitely is talked about and being talked about at the State House. Those need to be they need to be handled correctly, and there are some instances that it's getting abused, and then I guess there's always, and I figured this, that there's always unintended consequences. Whenever you try to create something with best intentions, then you have to, people figure out how to take advantage of the system.
And
I think that needs to be tweaked.
I think pushing things to the county government's gonna be good, it's just county government's gonna need some reform, on who makes the decisions and where things go.
And who's going to oversee that?
What's that?
All these changes, if you're dictating everything to come down to the local government.
Well, we're not dictating, we're allowing the local, us and the local government to take care of it. Ultimately, what I think that'll happen, the ballot box will take care of that, right? I think that would be the ultimate way that it's taken care of.
Yeah, but usually when that check mark is done counting, it's done too late. Because it's done been done.
Yeah.
And now you gotta fix the problem. Well, now you're already 2 years behind, 4 years behind, whatever it is.
I'm open to suggestions as we move this forward. The only, you know, I mean, I'm seriously,
Come here
the
now.
intention is to try to improve this to get us local. Is it gonna be perfect?
No.
You know, I think limited government is best. I'm not a proponent of letting the government tell us what to do with our own money. I'm a proponent of us being able to use our own common sense and make our decisions. I think this is a step in the right direction, okay? We have the issues, and you're talking about blaming, you know, the local government's worried about blaming, getting blamed by the state or vice versa or whatever. I think ultimately the way this is a step in the right direction. Is it gonna be perfect, and do we tweak this along the lines? Sure. But ultimately, it's gonna be better than what we have now, because we're gonna have the ability to control our own destiny. There's responsibility that goes with that. So if somebody's not doing it the way they're supposed to be, hopefully you're gonna feel empowered, knowing that there's more ability to make a difference, that you're gonna get involved. I hope this encourages more people to be involved, and, you know, some people stay on a town council forever because they beg people and they can't find anybody that's willing to put up with the nonsense that goes with it. You know, I'm just being honest, right?
Some towns can't even fill their seats.
I know. So I'm hoping this is just me personally speaking. I'm hoping that's a side benefit of all this. As we get more responsibility locally, we'll get more people that are willing to step up and serve because they feel like they can make a difference. You know, that's my honest to goodness. You know, that's why I'm here. That's why you guys are here.
You already have the experience. Local utilities provide you with your experience of dealing with your own revenue.
Yeah.
Water generates its own revenue, sewer generates its own revenue, and you have storm sewer now generating its revenue. You have to be able to use that money. It's the utilities' money, the town's money. They use it where they need to. It's gonna be the same thing with tax revenues.
That's right. It's our money. It's not the government's
You have
money.
the experience dealing with your own revenues. You just transfer it the same way you've been doing those with your utilities.
I think ultimately it's a good thing. I don't want to take up all your time. This is another, I come with all kind of goodies. Well, and I look at this from the point of when I was sitting in the county council seat, there is so much, I tried to recreate the wheels, like some of these documents that I had them guys create. And then I started figuring out that there's so much good information up there at the state level on a lot of these bureaucracies. But nobody knows where it's at, and nobody's willing to get it. So I'm trying to not create it. That was my side thing, just like we're talking about here, delivering decisions local and simplicity and transparency. The three things when I decided to run for this was delivering decisions local, but accountability and efficiency of state government. A lot of great people that work in state government, whether it's BMB or pick your state department, but then the bureaucracy is nonsense, and you might be setting up, and it might take you a month of Sundays to get through some phone bank to find anybody. So that's another goal of mine, is to try to help the state bureaucracies understand that we're the customers. So all this is a lot of fiscal. That's a lot of fiscal information. Just stuff when you're bored, you know, on a Sunday or it's snowing, to read through and different things on taxes and Well, yeah, if you need to go to sleep and you can't sleep one night, start reading that and you'll be sleeping in a half an hour or 15 minutes. So there's just a lot of good information that I thought well, man, I'd love to have this.
I'm just glad to see somebody coming to see us and talk about things.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because everybody's a ghost. Nobody knows shit. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see you here tonight,
Well, thank
talking
you.
to people in our areas about what's going on, because nobody knows. Nobody
No,
knows.
there's well, I figured that out right away through and I was a little naive getting in. I thought, you know what, I'm on county council, I've got all this stuff figured out. Well, I realized there's a lot to
What
it.
county you in?
Yeah. I was actually,
I know.
I grew up in Pike County, but then I ended up, I live a quarter mile from where I grew up, with farming, but it's right in Du Bois County. I'm just like 100 yards in Du Bois County, so I was ended up on the Du Bois County Council. But irregardless, I got involved to try to help, It's amazing. Everybody in every little town that we've got are doing it. You're doing it because you want to help. A lot of people, there's a lot of keyboard warriors that like to criticize what everybody's doing, but I'm just I'm just trying to get involved to help and get back. So I see things that I think, dang, I wish I knew this. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. And I made a commitment after all the craziness that I wanted to, within the first year, try to make it to every taxing unit, every county, city, and town council and district. You guys, I think, are 35, council 35.
I do not know our number.
Well, no, that's the month that I've been to since
Okay,
June.
got you.
When session's over, I started.
I didn't know.
Hazleton was last night, and I think they were 34. And I tried to get to Marengo Monday night, but ended up, had some breakdowns and things like it. But I try to make at least a couple a week just to try to help. And then I can make better decisions for us too up there. And then I don't know a lot about everything, but that's why I gave you my cell phone number. I can figure out where to go. I'm just a megaphone for 140,000 people. So anyway, I talked a long time. Any other questions?
Got one quick, non-related, just maybe more of a statement than a question. It seems like to me in the State House that they focus their policies regarding public education on basically the IPS, which is the Indianapolis Public School System. When you look around the state of Indiana, the top performing school corporations are the rural corporations that surround metro areas. So down here, you look at all the counties that surround Vanderburgh County are some of the highest performing public schools in the state, yet the rules that are being forced upon us are because of the poor performing IPS school system in Indiana.
Amen.
I digress, we'll just leave it there.
No, you're 100% right. I don't mind talking about it. I didn't, when we all get assigned to committees, okay? So I'm a freshman, I'm like, okay, put me wherever you want me. So I'm on a local government committee, which made sense, kind of local government. I'm on career education and career development. I'm on family and children's services, elections. Oh my gosh. Insurance and financial institutions. So I'm on the education committee. My basically beginning knowledge was that we were a parent of 3 kids. Right. So now I've been sitting on the education committee and I've learned a ton. And you're exactly right. I don't vote the way most of them do because I represent 14 public high schools in those 6 counties. And there's obviously, we got 3 of them in, right? 3 of them in Gibson. And I've got 1 charter school. And we are fortunate that we have awesome public schools. So then this always leads to the vouchers, right? And yes, that concerns me, but basically this is my philosophy on it. The IPS, they're having problems right now, right? I think 46% of the students in the donut, if you will, I go to the Indianapolis Public Schools. The rest of them are all at private, charter, different schools. They're not all private. I mean, there's public, charter, and all that, right? So, but that are not in that public school system. So, I look at the whole thing. I guess it's a way to encourage. It's almost the way it's turned into is a way to encourage competition where everybody does better. Okay. Now, as long as we continue to do the things that we do here in rural America, the public schools are gonna thrive and will continue, since the dollars are following the kids, we're gonna continue to get them because, because we're doing a good job. There is no incentive for private schools to come out in here to rural America. They're not gonna make money, right? So I think that's gonna be our saving grace and we're okay. Having said that, I voted against everything that was gonna be negative to public schools.
I didn't want to send you too big of a ditch, I just wanted to bring.
No, I don't take offense to anything. That's the way I see it, and that's the way I tried to do it, so, and that, Anything else? Well, thank you very much for listening to me. I sometimes get a little, I get passionate, I get too long-winded, but thank you. Reach out with anything that I can do to help.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for coming to see us, man. Good seeing you.
Was there
Good seeing
anything else we
you.
missed? Okay, our next meeting will be Wednesday, November 26th at 6 o'clock here. I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
What did you say today?
Our next
What's this?
meeting
Oh, the
is November 26th.